So, anyways, yeah, this was supposed to be the review today, which it still is, but it's going up extremely late. I was gonna have it done this morning, but I ended up doing a bottle drive instead. Well, not doing it, but helping out with one. Yeah. So I want to welcome you back to another YouTube video, you beautiful hosers. And obviously, the title of this is Kim's Convenience. That is literally what the Netflix show is called that I watched on Canadian Netflix. I'm not sure if it's on anybody else's. It's a Canadian made show that is filmed in Toronto. Now, that's not really spoiling anything. But I can say is it kind of is reminiscent of the show called Fresh Off the Boat. If you're familiar with that one, it's kind of similar to that, except for this family is Korean. Essentially, what it is they run a convenience store. So, I know I spelt the name wrong for this. I apologize for that, but I was in a rush trying to get it done and get this video out, so that kind of sucked, but that's what the show's called. It's about a Korean family in Toronto that runs a small convenience store. Now, hilarity ensues throughout the entire first season. Some parts better than others. Some of their audio cues are actually hilarious because they actually put them in the correct moments in time. They actually well thought of a storyline for it, but the only thing that I found about their storyline in a couple of spots is it fell short and they had to rush and try and fit something in. Now, there's not a whole lot of people that produce the show, at least during the start credits that you see. Generally, when you're watching a show like that, it goes on for a good couple of minutes. These guys are pretty like, nope, here's the names of the people that are important. That's it. That's all you see. But the thing is the acting is actually better in that than some of the acting that has been done in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you're unaware with that show, they have some really bad acting in some parts. But these guys, for the most part, they actually kind of act like normal people from Toronto with the way they talk. But I think the funniest part is actually how the dad takes things into perspective. His mindset throughout the entire first season is literally he wants to be the one person that everybody looks up to, but everybody has to hate him. It's essentially the vibe that you get from the character development that they put into the first season. The second season is kind of left in an awkward spot from where they left off on the first season. But it's definitely getting a second season, and the interesting thing about that entire series is the music that they used was actually good for the certain sequences that they were using in the scenes, and it actually makes it easier on the eyes to watch as they're switching locations so that you understand, okay, they went from here, now they're here and here, and now they're back at the convenience store, rather than them jumping all over the place. For example, like some shows that they'll be talking at home, and then all of a sudden they finish the conversation at a banquet or something, and then a bar, and then all of a sudden they're in like outer space or something, and then nothing makes sense. These guys actually make sure that everything that's being said and done is in the correct location, which is very important when you're doing a show like this that's a comedy, So it's literally hitting the nail right on the head where they wanted to be and where they needed to be for that series. Um, that's all I can say, non-spoiler worthy. But as far as I rate the first season, I'm definitely going to have to give it a 9.3. There are some pretty bad spots, but overall after the first episode, the show literally gets better. Um Spoilers. The one thing that I can say is you kind of get a vibe from certain characters that they're kind of missing the point, which actually is a human aspect of life. Some people definitely miss the point of a lot of things, and they actually have characters that literally do this. They act more human like than most TV shows that you watch, like soap operas. They have to be overly dramatic. Well, these guys, they literally act like they would actually be a typical person from the Toronto area. For example, complaining about car makes being parked illegally in front of your shop, and then going later on and saying, oh, well, he left and now it's a BMW, it's fine. That's not actually what the car was. It went from Toyota to, I think, what was a Subaru, I believe, in that scene. But they went from that. Then they had the clingy boss situation happening. By clingy, I mean she is extremely into one of the main characters. He just realizes it, but he doesn't want to do anything. But he actually gets called on it by his sister later on in the episodes. I can't remember exactly which episode in it was. I believe there's only 13 episodes to the first season. So if you watch all those, it's pretty much a quick watch, but it is definitely well worth it. The father, like I was pointing out, the way he comes off is just arrogant, but when he's in the hospital, that's one of the funniest moments in the entire first season is when he's in the hospital and then he's talking about the pudding. And the scene before that was him talking about his wife being blind and that the fact he's definitely going to get surgery. And he makes a comment about his wife being blind and then says, why don't you work on her eyes too and just make it 2-for-1? That was absolutely gold. The real part that got me about the entire series was the fact of they said they were a religious group, but when you watch that series, maybe they have like two church scenes and that's like completely it, and the rest of it they're not exactly dragging religion throughout of it. Um, it's one of the shows where they're like, okay, these characters are religious, but do they go on and on and on about religion? No, the show is literally the complete opposite about it. They mention it here and there. They go to church a couple of times, and then pretty much you don't see the church for the rest of the series. There is a couple of spots that have coarse language. Not very many episodes actually do, and that I believe they swore twice. I believe it was the first and either fourth or fifth episode, and then it just stopped right after that. But overall, they actually seem like they would be real people. No shit, they're real people. But it's just one of the shows that's fun to watch. I'm stumbling over my words. I think it's the 5 hours of sleep talking. But anyways, that's all I have, and I had to film this in my room while the phone was plugged in, so yeah. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic 2018. And if you're not, I hope it gets better for you sooner rather than later. Peace out, and I will see you all in the next video.